single. I don't feel nothing. I just thought that was, I don't know what that was.
Hey, what's popular, everybody? So, Meek Mill's recently sat down with Taxstone to do a interview, right? So, you know, he dropped his CD that did the DC4 joint or whatever, and everybody's like tuning in because they want to hear, you know, they want to hear, they want to do. They want to hear from the mouth of the Meek, you know what I'm saying? So everybody's like tuning in, trying to hear his side of it. So I had a chance yesterday to listen to the entire interview, or as far as we know, the entirety of the interview, right? Just as I'm driving, that's how I'm doing everything. I'm doing it as a driver. I like doing it when I'm driving. And I got all kinds of mixed reactions. So I got it kind of playing bits and pieces of it playing in the background right now. I don't know, it's kind of awkward, dude. Like, it's kind of awkward at moments. It's kind of like, oh, wow, okay, this is really insightful. At other moments, some moments is obviously funny as shit. And, but overall, I kind of think where he's coming from on certain things. Like, so let's address the stuff that I feel positively about, right? And those things, and that feeling circles around where he's giving a more positive view and talking about trying to be more than just, you know, gun bust rap and all of this. Now, let me put this out there. I don't listen to Meek Mill. Not that I got anything against Meek Mill. I don't have anything against him or for him. I mean, just, you know, it's not really my thing. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, I couldn't tell you if I heard a Meek Mill song, right? And it's nothing against Meek Mill, right? But I'm not really a Meek Mill person. I haven't really checked the shit out. So it's possible I could have been riding at some point and heard a Meek Mill song and didn't even know it. And I will say from certain parts of the interview, I kind of was like, you know what, maybe I'll go check this young guy out and see what he's doing, see what he's talking about, right? Okay, so the environment, the setting is that they're riding around in his in his little whip, right? And Tax is in there, and Tax is asking them questions at times. In most cases, Tax is kind of laid back and letting them talk, right? And Meek is doing a lot of explaining. I know that's the purpose of an interview. Me personally, I'm always against explaining. Like, fucking don't explain nothing. Like, don't fucking explain nothing. I ain't explaining shit. Like, this is what it is. Fuck that. That's what it is. Period. Right? Okay. But he chooses to explain stuff. Okay, that's fine. If you explain, that means you feel need to answer to someone. I don't feel need to answer to no fucking body except the people that I care and love. And even then, sometimes, no, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? But fine. So he's talking about everything surrounding the beef situation, all the mini beefs and everybody coming at Meek and everything. And you kind of start getting this feeling that Meek is definitely an underdog and a punching bag for a lot of people, right? Meek, which, hey, Meek. So, I don't know. But I kind of, in the end, I turned out to, I think, favor him over all the cats, over the Drake, over definitely with the Sean Kingston shit, over the Game, over the Beans, all of that shit, even over the AR Abs joint. You know what I'm saying? I kind of favor him over all of them, right? For the most part, but all of this shit feels suspect to me, and I'll get to that later. All right, so here we go. Immediately they get into the whole thing with the beef with Drake and OVO and all of that shit, right? And asking him, why do you think everybody's coming at you like this, blah blah blah. And it's quite obvious to me personally that a lot of motherfuckers is hating over this cat because he's with Nicki. Now, I don't care what y'all say, what y'all think, I don't give a shit. I'm telling you, a lot of this shit is because this cat's with Nicki Minaj, right? That's a bad chick. She's making a lot of money. She's very powerful. She's very successful. I think a lot of cats is upset about that because you know how cats are. Like, you know, if you're doing good or you got a chick and they're like, oh, he ain't smashing that right, he ain't hitting that right, then they start hating. I think it's a lot of that, right? Because he goes into this portion talking about how
snuffed him first.
Back in the day, him and Drake was supposed to be this, and Drake never showed up for that, and all this kind of shit. So you kind of, and you remember that story that Bean Siegel tells, talking about, you know, this guy probably looked at this chick, you know what I'm saying, and asked her, you know, did you smash this dude smashed, and, you know, he didn't like the answer he got back. Now, he denies that in the interview, but I could possibly see that. I'm sorry. I could see that, but that's just speculation, right? So, talk a bit about that. Talk about how the Twitter, the tweets and the tweefing and all of that shit, and how people just kind of believe anything and just go in on it. And I was surprised by the fact that Tax asked him straight up, like, about the back-to-back, and, you know, how did he feel when he heard back-to-back, and did he feel like it got him, and all kinds of shit like that, right? What I found was funny was he would turn a lot of questions back to Tax, but not in a way of like, is you fucking serious? More like, you know, what do you think about it? You know what I'm saying? And he asked Tax, he's like, yo, what part of the song do you think, you know, was hard? What part of the song you think got me or whatever? And I'm sitting here like, really? You asking that fucking question? Like, brush that shit off. Like, you know, if the song was garbage, say the song was garbage. If you think the song was hot, it was hot. But you don't ask no motherfucker, like, what part of that did you think was the part that tagged me up? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? But whatever. He's talking about other parts, about like, you know, he's never considered himself like a gangster rapper or anything like that. He talks about how, he basically was a young cat, grew up in the hood or whatever the case is. Like most cats, nothing special about that. You know, did a little few things to survive. Most cats, nothing special about that. And, you know, his attention was on music, and he made it in his music. One thing that I like that he says is that I'm not rapping about this, that, and the third. I'm not rapping about gangsters all the time. I don't want to be showing these kids that. Now, I don't know how consistent he is with that in his music or his Instagrams or whatever the fuck the case is. I don't follow that shit. But I like the fact that he's saying that. Like, saying, like, we can't keep showing these kids this, that, and the third, right? How we gonna be out here talking about Black Lives Matter, but then we all bigging up this and we bigging up the violence and all this kind of shit. I like the fact that he's talking about, I'm not trying to be out here fighting and shooting with motherfuckers. I'm trying to continue to succeed. I like that. Now, all of those things are positive. I like that, man. I mean, it's not like he's Nas and he's rapping about like the upliftment of the people and the upliftment of the mind. I'm not saying that he's saying that. He's more so on the flash rapping. And then, you know what? Fine. If you gotta rap flash rap, so that way you don't have to keep rapping about the same gangster when you are not currently doing gangster. You know, I think that's commendable. He even actually brings that up, that a lot of cats rapping about gangster and all this shit, but they're not as brazen as they try to make themselves seem, which is common sense. But to these kids, I don't think they really get that. You know what I'm saying? I think these kids listen to that and they process like, this is it, this is what's up. You know what I mean? So, talks about a lot of cats that he's down with. I think there's a lot of backpedaling and a lot of this shit too. When it comes to the Bean stuff, man, that's when it just really gets really funny, dude. Like, it's really funny to hear him going back and forth on the Bean stuff, man, and hear what he said, what Bean said, and hear back what he said. And let me say this, Beans is coming, and this hurts because Beans is, you know, he's an icon in the hip hop, in my generation hip hop, he's an icon, right? It's really, really disheartening because Beans is really, really coming out. He's looking suspect. It's from so many directions. There's certain things he tried to play down like it wasn't that, or it wasn't real, but nah, you know, you can hear it in the story, like in the conversation, like, nah, okay, you're trying to watch that shit. But there's certain things that he talked about, like for instance, the show that Beans is trying to get him on. It's been spoken about in many of these interviews that you've heard and all this stuff with Beans is talking about trying to get him to do this show and blah, blah, blah. Then going back and saying he was scared to do, that homeboy was scared to do the show because Game was going to be at the show or something like that. So he apparently has the information for the show in his phone, and he shows on whatever contract or something, and he shows it to Tax and has Tax read off the date. You know what I'm saying? And the date for when he first got up on the show and was interested in the show or whatever was quite some time before any of the other shit transpired. Now, an interesting thing that he says is that the whole little supposed beef thing with Deshaun Kingston getting robbed in the club happened like months prior to it popping off on the tweets and all of that shit. So he alludes to it being kind of orchestrated, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, I said from the beginning, the shit just doesn't feel real. Not saying it doesn't feel real like it's not violent enough or it's not hardcore enough. It just sounds like all of it, man. I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm listening to this stuff, not just in his interview here, but I'm listening to like all the interviews surrounding stuff since the beef first came out. And it all just sounds like some high school shit. Not even like some middle school shit. Like, it can't go beyond 9th grade. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you had to say what level it was on, he said, yo, you called me, got him on 3-way. Oh, you go, oh man, you know, you said, he said, we said, D said, B said, you know, and I didn't say that. Stop saying I said that. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't sound mature at all. And I'm saying, and I know a lot of this stuff that we see cats getting beef over, not just in hip hop, not just in rap, but just in our culture, period. It's stupid, man. I know that we're never going to reach a point where we're mature past that shit, because this shit's been happening since I was a young cat, and I was involved in a lot of it, right? It's just cats fighting over, dying over, killing over what someone said or what someone thought or how someone looked or someone said that they heard, and cats is getting crazy over that stuff, and it's like you're caught up in a murderous cycle of emasculation and machoism, right? And it's just, and having to prove masculinity, and it's just stupid, man. I don't know. I don't know, but I digress. So he's speaking towards that. He's talking about how, you know, he's down to, like, he's not down to beef with nobody. Like, you know, I'm not going to say this, I'm not going to say that. Even though he is on video on that damn, he's on the YouTubes talking about some fuck AR rap, and he talks about, for that he was upset because, you know, the guy is from his town, they're from the same town, and some cat that's not from their town turned him against a cat from his town, and that's some other stuff. Because then you got AR talking about who ain't hardcore. Meek openly expresses that he's not hardcore. He don't try to be hardcore, so I can give him points for that, right? Man, you be proving you hardcore for the rest of your life, because there's always going to be somebody who say you ain't hardcore. He gets into talking about, like, 50 Cent and that other cat, I can't remember his name, Slow Bucks or whatever, and that little shit that happened when Slow got stomped out on the stage and shit. And he said that he had actually told, this is a funny part, because he was like, early off, he was like, yo, I don't think, he said he was having a conversation, he kind of got into an argument, he said about it, right, him and Slow, and he was like, yo, I don't think 50 Cent fuck with you like that. And dude was like, no, that's my man. And he said, he tells Slow, he's like, yo, you rocking around with a cat he don't fuck with, I don't think that he fuck with you like that. You might want to stand clear, basically, right? And Slow's like, nah, that's my man. And later on, he gets his ass, like, stomped the fuck out. So that's kind of, he kind of goes into that a little bit. All in all, I mean, it's a pretty decent interview, dog. He spends a lot of time talking about, you know, how he always had this money, he always been up, and he's on his downside now, and even on his downside, he's still up, he's still winning. And he's talking about, like, and Tax brings up a point, he's like, yo, you think Cats is like, Tax literally asks, you think Cats is asking or hating on you because of how much more money you got now that you with Nicki Minaj, and she comes up a few times in it, you know what I'm saying? I see his points on that, right? He's talking about, like, nah, man, I've been had money since like 2012, end of 2012, going to 2013, when his first album dropped. He was saying how he was good, blah, 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 blah. In Beans' interview, Beans says that the cats around him can't eat without him, meaning, like, if he's not there, then they're not making no money, so they hungry, they ready to rob at that time. Meek says, nah, that ain't the case, blah, blah, blah. We watching this shit like this is funny. We popping bottles, we eating this, we doing that, we on the plane. But then he also makes the point that he was in jail for a certain amount of time, and during that time his cat had to hit the block again because he wasn't there. Well, I think that's kind of what Beans was saying, bruh. So, yeah, bong. I don't know these guys. So, I don't know. It was a cool little interview. I say, yeah, if you're into like, even if you're not really a rap person, to check it out, go check it out, man, because it's kind of entertaining to hear these cats talk about, first of all, when you think about the idea of what these guys are discussing, you're talking about a motherfucking bunch of dudes pissed off because of another dude saying this. One dude mad another dude because this dude then said some shit about this dude, said this other dude said something about the dude, and ain't nobody even heard the dude say the shit. Like, it don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? They talking about cats with street soldiers and all of this shit. I don't know, man. It just sounds ridiculous. Like, it sounds full retard. Like, it makes no sense. Like, I don't know, there's moments, and not just in this interview, but all the interviews surrounding this beat that really made me look at this shit like, man, I don't get this shit. I don't get it. It's just, maybe I'm getting older now. Maybe I am old. I don't know. But it's stupid. It's stupid. And he says it, so this is dumb. I'm not fucking with it. I'm not risking all of my everything for this. This is dumb. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Here's one thing I will point out. I think the young boy, as they say, should continue what he's doing, you know what I'm saying, continue pressing, because he's saying right now, everybody was talking about they wasn't fucking with me, now everybody's like, where's the music? The music's out, everybody wants the music. And yeah, because that's how the industry is, that's how the fandom is. I don't fandom in rap, fandom in nerd, fandom in anything, right? They only care about what's popping, what's lit at the time, you know what I'm saying? So, motherfuckers are fair weather, right? And he's talking about, I'm going to put this out there. We're going to put this music out there. And, you know, blah, 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 blah. And then we're going to come and we make the music. We're going to be shooting. We shooting at the head. But he's talking about with the raps, right? I think that's a problem. Not for him. I'm saying culturally, for us, culturally, right? We gotta, for some reason, relate everything to, like, some fucking thug gangster kill motherfucker shit. Even in the sense of when we're saying we're being positive or not being on that, we still gotta fucking equate everything we do to that. Why does the whole entire rap game gotta be equated to the dope game? Whereas every other industry looks at their music as artistry, right? We have to look at it like it's the crack game. We don't have anything that's permanent because we don't treat anything permanent. We don't have anything that means anything because we don't treat shit like it means something. Everything is a hustle. Everything is the next hustle to get this, to get the dollars, to get the dollars, to get the dollars. And we all want the dollars, no mistake. I don't want to be broke, right? Like Kanye West said, like, not having money, that's everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you ain't got it, that's when the hardship is. I get that. But man, I think that if it even goes back to what we talking about, like Black Lives Matter, this Black Lives period, because he even speaks on that, and I appreciate what he said there, right? Like, you can't expect motherfuckers to take you seriously when you don't take you seriously, right? And I think it just goes back down to maturity and culture. But that's for us to fix. You know what I mean? That's for us to fix. And I don't see no fixing it. Man. But hey, I digress again. So, speaking on the Black Lives point that he brings up, right? He talks, like I said earlier, he talks about, like, you know, how we gonna say Black Lives this, but then blah, 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 right? So he talks about how, these cats talking about Black Lives Matter, and then these other cats who then got wealthy. He said he can't feel no star saying, you know, all lives matter. Not because all lives don't matter, but because, like, the point, obviously, like, it's not that all lives don't matter. It's that you're treating these particular lives like they don't matter. And then, of course, the argument for that always is, well, black lives can't just matter when it's cops shooting cops. Black lives gotta matter all the time. No, the point is black lives do matter all the time, but you guys are responding to it like it doesn't matter. That's that point. Every time I bring up black lives, I will always make that point. I don't care about the actual movement, the organization. I'm not, like, speaking for them or against them. I'm just saying the term, the idea, the concept. And he speaks to that. Not quite as eloquently as I just did, but but he does speak to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he makes a point that the idea is that, you know, in these lower income or urban areas, you know, cops is killing young black men, young minorities at an alarming rate. I'm paraphrasing to give it to make it sound a little bit better, right? Because the way he words stuff is, but and then he says the excuse for that is because there's a lot of crime, there's a lot of drugs, all the drugs are there. Then he makes the point that on college campuses, there's a lot of drugs on college campuses, but you don't see cops just pulling out on black people and just busting off on black people on college campuses. Hey, you kind of do, but not like that, right? Like just people in general, right? And that's a cute point. So yeah, he has a lot. I hope this brother just continues on his path, man. And I will say this to everyone that feels they have more to offer as far as these rappers go. I mean, I'm nobody in your eyes. I mean, to me, I'm far more. But I would say, man, guys, concentrate on like get some information in you. Get that good information in you. Concentrate on reading some substance, so that way when you're speaking, you can articulate. You can complete sentences, because a lot of these guys are great with putting their rhymes down, but when it comes to especially these younger guys, I think a lot of that goes on this tweeting and emojiing and shit. You don't gotta really put together thoughts anymore. Like, you're speaking on something and you can't even complete the thought. You can't even complete the sentence. It's like, man, because, they came around. It's like bang, bang, bong, bong. You know what I'm saying? And he asked me, and I'm like, oh, what is this? You know what I'm saying? And what the cat really wanted to get across was something really important, but because you can't, articulate, I don't know what the fuck you're saying. No. So when you say, you know what I'm saying? What is this? Bong, what is that? You know what I mean? Ball, I don't know what you're saying. And I speak slang. I speak slang quite frequently. You know what I'm saying? I speak Ebonics quite frequently. And I don't know what you're saying, because you're not completing a sentence. We have gone from, no, not we, because I don't do that shit. You have gone from, speaking in slang and Ebonics, new terms, cold terms, if you will, to not even completing thoughts. Not even completing sentences. No one can get that, man, and it makes you look crazy. It makes us all look crazy. I would hope that a lot of these guys, some of these guys, just give me a quarter, 10% of them, put a little energy into that, man, so that way you can eloquently elaborate, and it would just, or at least decently, moderately decently. I don't know, so we can understand what you're saying. But check out the interview if you haven't already. It's pretty cool. I'll put a link in the comments. Is there anything in there that stands out to me that I think I should make a point of? I don't know. It's all pretty much the same thing. He keeps going back and forth talking about the money, and how they already had the money, and he's canceling his Instagram shit because he just need to take a break off of it. He didn't get bullied off of it. He just need to take a break off of it. Man, I don't blame you for that, because you've been getting the hard one on that. You had Will Smith in the video laughing at you. That's like some shit. So yeah, I can feel you wanting to come off of that. And be real, we all need to come off of that shit. That shit's fucking up. That shit's fucking up society right now. But hey, man, go check it out. I think it was pretty cool. I don't want to spoilers it for anybody, right? Go check it out. I think it's worth checking out, man. And especially if you're just driving, you ain't got much going on. You're just riding out. And this video's getting long enough. Hey, out of here! Oh, wait, back up. Hey, so some of you guys are going to be tuning into this video new to Braves Views and Reviews, Braves Toy Reviews, Braves vlog. Hey, man. Go ahead and check through my stuff. Hit that likes, hit that share, and hit that subscribe. Yeah, I'm not just talking nerd stuff. I'm not just talking hip-hop stuff. I'm not just talking news stuff. I'm talking all kinds of shit. I'm talking life shit. I'm talking about everything, man. But most of nerd shit. All right, out of here!